What's up, brother?
What's up, brother?
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Sorry
That shit
for
is
cussing.
like, that's,
Sorry for cussing.
bro, Sketch has everybody in a chokehold right now.
Oh, 100%. He's got the whole world in a chokehold.
That is, I'm like seeing the videos of him. Like he's going to all these sporting events. They're like making jerseys for Sketch. Like he's walking around the field, has a Sketch. I love it.
I love how he still wears the headphones and the CJ Stroud jersey like everywhere that he goes.
I know, it's so funny.
The branding is on point. And
imagine his wardrobe. He just wakes up, puts the same shit on every day, and like he doesn't have to think about that shit, bro. That's so lucky.
And it's funny, his shoes. I don't know if you ever see his shoe game, but he's rocking like the
New Balance.
No, they're not even. I think they're like the Nike like dad shoes, or like grandpa shoes, like the really like
the barbecue
ones.
Shoes.
Yeah,
okay.
dude, they're so fire.
That's
I mean,
funny.
just because of his whole fit, bro. He's like so simple and just like shout out Sketch.
I love Sketch. That's so funny. That's a good guy.
He's been all over my like TikTok feed for the longest time,
and now that we're talking about it right now, it's not going away.
Oh no! I mean, I don't want it to go away. Honestly, it's so funny. My favorite celebration by Sketch is whenever he like long touchdown or whatever it is, and then he gets off the chair and goes and acts like he's taking a piss on like pieces of furniture and stuff.
So Nick has that the first time I've ever seen that. I didn't even know Sketch at this point, and we're playing Madden, and then he scored a long ass touchdown, and he just gets off his chair, starts crawling around. I thought he's like seizing or some shit. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And he just lifts his leg and pisses on me. Not literally, but I'm like, what the fuck? Like I was like, damn, that shit's good. And I was like,
yeah, isn't that a funny celebration? Whenever I saw him do that, it's like you're trying to act like a dog, obviously.
Yeah.
You get on all fours and then you go and take a piss on like the table or something. And it's so funny because the dude that he was playing against was going off on him and they were like kind of getting heated.
Yeah.
And then he had the long touchdown, did the celebration. The dude could not stop laughing.
That's
bro. It was
so
like,
funny.
He just, it's such a good celebration. You can't even hate on it. You know what I mean? Shout out Sketch. Do you want to jump into win of the week?
Let's do it.
Let's get it started. Win of the week.
You want me to go first?
Episode 95, win of the week. Yeah, start us off, brother.
My win of the week, it actually did happen this week. Okay, so you know how when you're driving and somebody cuts you off or like just they do some dumb shit and like I have bad road rage. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like I get pissed off. I will give somebody the finger. I'll start yelling. I know they can't hear me, but I'm screaming. Yeah. I love when like they say I'm sorry and like you get that satisfaction that they know they're wrong.
Yeah.
Because if they do something wrong, I flick them off and they flick me back off. I'm like, I go from 10 to like a million, bro. Like,
yeah.
Now I want to like flip your car. I'm not actually going to do that. But like that shit pisses me the fuck off. So when they say like, I'm sorry and give you a wave, I'm like, I'm not mad anymore. Thank you.
Or when they do the whole two hands on the steering wheel, just look straight ahead.
Yeah, they're like locked in. They're like,
yeah.
And you're like slowly passing them. They're just like this.
Yeah.
That shit's so funny. But like when they acknowledge that they were wrong and whatever they did, you were automatically good in my book.
You like that affirmation, like
yes,
that, yeah,
like you better know you were wrong, bitch.
That's so funny. Accountability.
Yeah, just be.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just be accountable. Like, if you don't know how to drive, like, just own up to it. You know what I'm saying?
And then I won't be mad at you.
And that's a bad problem in Jacksonville. I'm sure major cities, like, obviously, there's bad drivers everywhere, but like for some reason, bro, and it's always whenever I have to be somewhere.
Yeah.
Whenever I'm like I've got all the time in the world or I'm early to something.
The roads are clear.
Roads are clear. I could get there. I'm getting there 10 minutes earlier than I was planning on getting there, even though I was planning on getting there early. Mm-hmm. It's like, that's just how it goes in Jacks, bro. Sometimes it's the fucking worst. And the traffic, like road rage, like if you live in Jackson, you don't have some little minor form of road rage, there's something wrong with you.
I think Jacksonville, maybe even Florida as a state, is like they have a blinker fluid shortage.
Yes.
That shit is crazy, bro.
Blinker fluid.
Like, I know my shit's work. I fill my shit up every day just to make sure, but ain't nobody else filling their blinker fluid up.
Dude, not a chance. So you want to know my win of the week?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So my win of the week is Caitlin Clark.
That's a good one. I like that.
Because I'll be 100% honest. You know, like we didn't even do brackets this year. Mm-hmm. Like typically I just fill out a bracket for fun. I don't watch college basketball. I don't even watch NBA. You know what I'm saying? But boy, was I watching some women's college basketball.
Caitlin Clark was going crazy.
That girl is a sniper, bro. She is so good on the court. Like, it's so fun watching her because even like the shots that she's making, it's not like she's just putting up like a lot of threes. Mm-hmm. This girl's shooting from the logo. Like
for fun.
Yeah, so she broke some kind of record. I think it was like most points scored or most threes made, whatever it was. And to break the record, she shot it from the fucking logo. Yep. And it was like she's heavily guarded. And there's so many games, bro, where she's getting double teamed and all this stuff. And it's like, honestly, bro, like they could have drafted her into the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, call me crazy, but like that girl can shoot, bro.
She can shoot, but she wouldn't make it in the NBA.
I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But the thing is like, I would love to see how competitive she would be against, you know, a higher level athlete. Like, not to say that they're not high level athletes, but it's just like, she's going off on these chicks, bro. Like, she is balling on these girls. So it's like, I kind of, in my opinion, I'm like, I would love to see how she would do with higher competition, because clearly she's like at the top of her game.
Do you know how tall she is?
6'2". No, 6 foot.
Really?
She's 6 foot. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, maybe 6'1". I think she's 6 foot.
Huh.
Yeah, so
she wouldn't make it in the NBA.
Yeah, but she's not super tall either, which makes it even like a
more
crazier
thug.
stat. Yeah, dude, but she's so fun to watch, and like just her energy, like she gets fired up on the court and shit. There is a weird like I don't think she's like a super hot chick or anything, but it's like there's something really hot about a girl being super good,
just balling out.
Yeah, like at any sport, you know what I mean? Like any sport, if they can just go off, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, certain sports. I mean, there's certain sports I hate to watch.
What do you think the most attractive sport for a female to play is?
Ooh,
that's a good question. Isn't it?
That is a good question. Wow.
I'm gonna say mine, so you don't.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Yeah, take
golf, bro.
Oh, golf for sure. I didn't even think about golf
because that shit's hard. Like, I know, bro. I get it. You don't have to be super athletic.
Golf for sure,
but it's hard. Like, and to have the patience to play golf.
And it's cool because like the ladies' tees are up a little bit further, so you can go and play golf with your chick. And even though obviously it's like you're gonna have a much longer drive, it's like you guys are still gonna be competitive. I would love to
play from the ladies' tees.
No, obviously we're not playing from the ladies' tees, but if you play with a chick, then she's gonna be at the ladies' tees, and then it's like you're still playing a competitive game of golf. You know, that's a good one. I didn't even think about golf, bro. I was like starting to think about like soccer, like, you know.
Number 2, volleyball.
Oh, okay, well, for sure, but that's,
okay, that might be like.
I was gonna say that's a lot of tall chicks, so I know you're not.
What
you're
are
not
you
a big.
Saying?
I know you personally are kind of notorious for dating chicks that are much shorter than you.
Yeah, I am. So golf, I'll stick with golf.
Golf is a good one. I like that. But yeah, Caitlin Clark. Shout out Caitlin Clark.
Shout out Caitlin Clark.
One thing that I've been really enjoying as well, man, is just like, bro, we are outside.
We've been outside lately.
So me and Joey, I don't know who we were talking to, but they were basically putting an emphasis on just being in your community and just kind of like networking, just talking to people, making friends, spending time with people, as opposed to just like, you know, sometimes we're so locked in with this podcast shit, bro.
We don't go outside. We literally stay inside.
Literally. And we'll just be like working on the pod, or me and you'll be brainstorming or making episodes or secret sessions, whatever it is. And lately, me and you have been getting outside a lot more, spending time with the guests. You know, I mean, if a guest hits us up after the episode, like me and you went to the damn Sharks game after we recorded with ET. Big shout out to ET for getting us into that game, man. That was a super fun time.
Check out that episode. It was a good episode too.
Oh, amazing episode. But yeah, no, that was like doing things like that. It's so cool because then we're at the Sharks game. We had like 3 different people come up to us. And they were just like people that we didn't even know. And they were just like, I fuck with the podcast. Or just like, you know, I saw this episode, or be like, oh, don't you have that like Orange podcast or whatever? And it's like little things like that where it's just kind of cool to put a face. To
know your
like,
scene.
For sure. Well, yes, know your scene, but also be able to like put on a good first impression like for these people. Yeah. Like then, you know, we're always just, I feel like in those times whenever people come up to us and they say they've seen the show or whatever, we're always super nice and just like super... I feel like it's that interaction is going to make them want to watch a show more, if that makes sense. But I also really enjoy those interactions as well. Like if anyone ever sees us out or whatever,
please,
and they fuck with the podcast, like come say hello. Me and Joey would love to talk.
At us
like
from across the road,
which happened to you actually not even that long ago, maybe like a week ago. Yeah. You're sitting at a red light.
I was sitting at an intersection. That shit was so crazy. I was sitting there and I'm at the red light, not doing anything, and I just hear honking. I'm not doing anything, so I don't look around. Like I don't care. I'm not doing anything. And he keeps going, so I'm like, okay, what is happening? Like, I'm trying to see what's going on. And it's this dude, like, hanging out his fucking truck, like, screaming at me. He's like, are you the dude from the podcast? I'm like, yeah, that's funny. Me. I was like, it was just so cool because, like, I'm driving down the road, bro. Like, it's cool.
And this isn't us like tooting our own horns or anything. It's literally just like little things like that
it just makes you happy.
It makes me so happy, yeah, bro, because we've been doing this shit for so long, and it's cool to know that people are enjoying the episodes and are watching. And so shout out to all you guys, man. That shit's fun. Also, on the road location is locked in.
Yes, sir.
We're not announcing it yet. You guys will see. If you want to follow us on social media, then you'll be able to see, all the details for everything we got coming up. But very excited, bro.
It's going to be fun,
Very
bro.
excited. And it's kind of like we're getting out of our lane. Mm-hmm. We're totally getting out of our lane. Yeah, and it's going to be a really fun time, man. Just doing things that, we wouldn't typically get to do. And I've always wanted to go just like visit this place anyway. Mm-hmm. So you guys will see when you see. But just know we got an on the road coming. It'll be in about probably like 3 or 4 weeks, I think. Yeah. But yeah, locations are locked in, dates are locked in, and we're excited. We'll announce it soon. But yeah, let's jump into this episode, man. Episode 95. I'm excited for this one.
I'm excited. It's going to be a good one.
Let's get started. What up, OGs? Episode 95 going down right now. I'm here with the man himself, Joey Allen.
Yo.
How's it going, brother?
What's up, brother? How are you?
Not too bad. Excited for this episode, man.
Yeah, it's a big one.
The audience should be excited as well, man, because if you're a big fan of free game, if you're a big fan of just growing your personal brand, growing your business, growing anything, man, this is going to be a huge episode for you. Super excited about today's guest. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming the owner of True Culture Marketing, the man himself, Sean OLinn.
I appreciate it, guys. Appreciate it.
Of course, brother. Happy to have you in the building. How are you feeling today?
Dude, honestly, great, because I feel every day above ground is a blessing. And kind of when you look at it like that, you start living a little bit differently.
Amen.
100%. I love it. Good energy.
Yeah.
No, man, super excited to have you in the building. I know we're going to talk about a lot of shit today, but dude, you're a fucking genius in this game, bro. Like, just actually, we ran into each other maybe a month ago or something, and we just kind of keep crossing paths and everything. And every time we talk, it's such a great conversation.
Oh yeah, I was like, hey man, when are you gonna get me on?
Yeah,
come on,
gotta happen soon. And no, dude, glad to finally get it rolling. And I know that my audience will take a lot of free game from this shit, man, and just take a lot of notes. So everyone, get the notepads out, get ready. But I mean, also, me and Joey being a part of this game as well. It's like growing the podcast shit, dude. I'm just so excited to talk to you and just see what kind of tips and pointers we can pull from this. Yeah. You know what I mean? And using our own business, man. So before we get started, let's just give the people a quick background on who Sean OLinn is.
Okay, guys. So hi, my name's Sean OLinn. I am the owner and founder of True Culture Marketing. We are a marketing company that primarily focuses on organic marketing. So a lot of it is content strategy and long format branding. So building brands online. We do kind of get in a little bit of the ad space and ads buying, but where I've really tried to transfer specifically this last year is over towards focusing on that organic side. Been in business now. I've scaled companies from 100,000 to over $1 million a year. Also have been doing content my whole life. So ever since I was a little kid, I made like 3D animation videos and claymation videos. And we actually went to like the national level for that. Did Future Business Leaders of America, and I shot a commercial that went to the state level. So I've always had a passion. I never took any classes throughout college, never any classes in high school on video production, but YouTube University.
Self-made.
Self-made. Picked
Self-taught,
up camera.
bro. I love it.
Yeah, found mentors. That's a huge thing. I think if you can find a mentor in the space, you can condense down decades worth of knowledge into minutes. So I always have found mentors in every aspect of my life, whether it was fitness or whether it was finances or business. So
that's awesome.
When
bro.
you say longer form content, isn't that kind of like scary, because like how the audience is these days, like their attention span is so short. So like long form content, I feel like a lot of people are not going to be as invested into that. So like, why that lane? Why do you choose long form?
So specifically, I mean, we do focus primarily in short, but long is good. It's just, I don't think there's a bad stigmatism right now because of the attention spans. But I think if your content isn't boring and it's engaging enough, and it can hook the audience. So creating a correct format using AIDA, attention, interest, desire, action. If you can implement that into many segments and you can hook them along, then long format, it doesn't matter. You'll keep the attention. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Especially with us doing these long ass podcast episodes, man. It's like, that's why you want to get super engaging guests on here and people that are going to be just keep the conversation interesting. You know what I mean? I know some people listen to this podcast for entertainment. Some people listen to it for the free game. Some people listen to it just because of the type of guests that we have on. And no matter what the guest is, you got to keep it fresh. You got to keep it interesting. You know what I mean? And every episode's got to have that same spark, you know? So no, man, super excited to have you in here. And you've obviously been in this game for so long. Did you ever do any of the marketing things like with your fitness stuff? Because I mean, obviously you're big in the gym as well.
Yeah. So I started doing it. This is a funny story. And I actually hired out a video guy because I feel like, you know, if you can argue paying that with your time and something else, then like get a video guy to do it. So I hired a video guy, but then I was like, hey man, you want to make more money? And I was like, you want to come work for me? And then he ended up working for me, and now he's been working for me full time for the last like 6 months.
How long have you had True Culture?
Had True Culture now we celebrated 5 years last month.
Oh my God, bro.
Yeah.
And what was the like one key point that kind of made you pull the trigger on True Culture and be like, this is what I want to do?
Oh, this is a fun one. So I actually started out in event nightlife marketing. So I started off in college doing promotions, worked at Sweet, Nightclub, Mavs, Myth, every nightclub you can think of, even was brought in as a contractor for Heaven, the one nightclub that was off of Atlantic. Yeah. So
I used to be a fucking light DJ. Yeah. That's crazy. When he said it, I was like, dude, Club Heaven? That's funny.
Club Heaven. So I kind of was in the nightlife scene, and specifically in college, I was working for a company. It was called Social Academy. But, you know, might get a little beef for this one. But they treated me really well, but they didn't treat the employees that I brought on well. So for me, I didn't really like that I brought a friend that was bringing like 100 people and you weren't paying them. I didn't think that was really right, even though they paid me because they saw me as a threat. They knew I could go off and do my own thing. So I ended up leaving, starting JSO, Jacksonville Social Organization, fun play on words, Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
I was about to say JSO.
JSO. I was like, I think that one might be taken.
Hold on.
Yeah. So we threw an event. Our first event was a hit. It was at Big Dogs at the time. It's now Mavi's at the beach. It's right over the bridge, Beach Boulevard. And we made that bar 15,000 in 3 hours, and they're used to making 1,500 in a whole Friday.
Wow.
Yeah. So we threw the first ever collegiate happy hour that Jacksonville's ever seen. And like hundreds of people came out. And we're like, why were we successful? The marketing, right? Went on, did multiple events, even did like a Jaguar tailgate. That was a flop, you know, but there's always, when you look at a loss, it's a lesson. And when you start looking at it like that, it gets a little bit better. But like I also lost 15,000 in a day. That was the day I lost 15,000. But we were super successful outside of that event. So take that with a grain of salt. And when we decided to do the shift, I was like, hey, like this is great and all, but I think it'd be more fulfilling if we can help businesses. And I think we can make more money, you know, versus doing 1 day a week or 1 day a month.
For sure.
So that's when I made the shift to helping out businesses, have worked with everyone from the likes of Red Bull, have worked with, Daly's gas stations, Bolt City Brewery, MFG Merch, Image Skincare, another national brand. Also have done stuff with MTV Teen Mom, Macy Bookout McKinney. Yeah, that's a brand that we helped scale TTM, Things That Matter. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
And I think it's cool that you mentioned before we got started a decade's worth of information you can gain in minutes. I feel like that's what a lot of people do whenever they're trying to hire you. Is like learning the social media game and just like how to put out good content, how to edit good content, and just the strategies with when to post and how to kind of engage and get that like good call to action and everything like that. I feel like that's something that people want to hire you because they don't want to go through the work of having to put in the 5 years of experience. Well, way more than that, but obviously like with the business. So no, shout out to you, bro. I know you've also worked with a couple people that have been on the podcast as well.
Yeah, we just signed Hotbox Pretzels. Shout out Hotbox
So
Pretzels.
dope, bro. Shout out Hotbox Pretzels.
Shout out
man.
Roman.
Yeah.
Excited. We're gonna really scale out both his personal brand as well as Hotbox Pretzels over this next year. I'm really
Do you
excited.
feel like it's a huge when you're picking a client? Do you kind of look for clients that kind of already have like a little bit of that knowledge, you know what I mean? So they can kind of, they can recognize what you're saying and like kind of understand it, as opposed to like a mom and pop shop that, you know, they maybe just post like the most basic picture on Instagram.
I mean, I don't think there's an issue with the mom and pop. The only people that I have qualification issues with, so like what I look for in a client, or more or less, I think we should do the opposite. What you don't look for in a client is do you buy fake followers? Because if you have fake followers, there's no way I can grow you organically.
Yeah.
Now we could do paid. We could do a bunch of fake followers or a bunch of fake likes on stuff, but then it's all fake.
Yeah.
And
You're not
like,
getting anything.
Yeah. So like I've worked with people in the past, like I fired clients where I'm like, hey man, I think you might've bought fake followers. Like we can try it. And then he was like, this isn't working out. Like I'm not happy with this. I'm like, hey man, it's performing better than the last 4 agencies that you hired. And then after we left him, the next 2 agencies that tried to work on his stuff didn't perform as well of us. But the thing was he had fake followers and you're looking for external validation and you're not okay with yourself. You feel like you need to look better than you are for people. And I think for me, that's a immediate disqualification. Also like understanding, the time horizon, right? It's what's your time horizon. So I do like working with higher level entrepreneurs or people who have been in business a little bit longer because they have a longer time horizon, depending on how far they are in their business journey versus, the new mom and pop. They're like, oh my God, I need to see something ASAP. And it's like, dude, this is brand marketing. Like, this is something that's going to get you money. Yes, but it's going to happen in the long run. It's not going to happen immediately. Not a sprint. Exactly. So those are two big qualifications that I look at.
That is good. Yeah. I feel like, with the fake followers thing, I mean, we've had guests on here before where it's like they've definitely bought fake followers, and you don't necessarily always realize that until you actually sit down with them and talk with them, but it always comes to the surface. Oh, yeah. So that's one thing is like you can buy the fake followers, but eventually people are going to realize like, wait, you don't have 80,000 fans or you don't have like a whole, giant fan base of people that actually fuck with your shit. Like you're literally just buying these people to come in and like your post.
And you're maybe buying streams on Spotify.
Can you do that?
I think you can.
No way.
How do you do that?
So they have streaming barns. So they have like these warehouses with all these little tablets, and they'll like you could pay for a service for basically to get your streams up.
No way.
Wow.
Oh, you haven't seen it? You got to look it up. Yeah,
that's crazy.
So what I like to do for the fake follower test, this is called the fake follower test. You open up their Instagram, you go to their followers, you just scroll randomly, right? You don't even look at it, and then you go stop, and then you click on it, and then if it's fake follower, you're like, all right, fake follower, and then you're like scroll, stop. Click on it. Fake follower. Okay. Scroll.
How do you know it's a fake follower?
I mean,
their profile.
Yeah. So there is technically different sections on it. Like there's ghost followers. So there's people who like follow mass accounts and like you're never going to see it. So there is a difference between like a fake follower and necessarily a ghost follower. So I think those are two separate things. But basically it's like they're following a large amount. A lot of it's like you can look and see their posts, and a lot of times they post all on the same day and they haven't posted since that day. Or it's like, maybe they just started the account yesterday, and so they posted yesterday and today, but you're like, and they're following like, 800 people and not following anyone else. And you look at it and it's like, this content has no value. It's kind of empty, which Instagram actually has provided a new feature on it that most people don't know about. If you actually go to your followings list, they'll tell you some of it who are some of your fake followers, and they'll make suggestions for you to delete it so your content can actually engage better.
Oh, that's interesting.
So that's a huge new thing that has come about. And I'm a student of the game, so I'm always learning and keeping up on like the top trends, the new things that Instagram's rolling out. And that's like one big thing that I could provide game on right there. Like go check it out. Also now when people go to follow you, Instagram also has a suggested area that says, hey, this person's trying to follow you. We think it's a suspicious account. You can deny their follow.
I like that.
Yeah. So why would you want to go back and unfollow those ghost accounts? Like how does that affect?
Remove them?
Yeah.
So here's the way kind of Instagram works, right? It pushes out your content. Like let's say you made a reel, super cool reel. It might be really good content, but if you have a bunch of fake followers and it pushes out to your followers, it checks your engagement, right? So it looks to see how much of your following is engaging with it. Depending on how much it engages with, it pushes out to like 30% of your following. And then I think 70% out to new people. And if your followers don't engage with it, it's seeing it as content that's maybe not going to perform well, so it won't push it out more. So that's also a key to going viral, is having your followers actually engage to it. So I always suggest building up maybe a couple stories previously, always logging on, engaging with different accounts an hour before you like plan on posting that day, as well as, building up those stories where it's like, hey, do you see value in like automating your content? Yes or no? Like putting out different polls, having that engagement. Then Instagram's like, oh, they're engaging with this account, right? And engaging with accounts that are similar to you as well is huge. So maybe going on there and engaging with different people on their profile to then cross-pollinate the two profiles and to get maybe some of their followers then to check you out.
That's interesting. Yeah. And so you're saying like, if for me and Joey's like sense, like go out to other podcasts that are kind of similar, like similar vibe, setup as ours. Yeah, similar vibe. But also like people that we know that their audience would also fuck with our show as well, engage with those actual followers or just engage with that podcast itself.
Those followers and that podcast specifically, like commenting on that podcast, maybe engaging, like liking some comments on there, and maybe going to their page and then engaging on it. But if you notice, like I could pull up my tablet and show you guys like my fitness Instagram. I only engage with fitness content. I don't engage with like random Joe Schmo or anything marketing, right? And then if you look at my marketing platform, yes, I engage primarily on the business page with more business stuff, but on my personal page, it's kind of a mix, but I tend to try to really mostly engage with like similar business accounts.
That's actually a really good idea, because all you got to do is really just get your name in front of them. That's the biggest thing, is like just have them at least have the option to click your profile. But if they've never even seen the OG Sessions podcast or True Culture Market or anything like that, then they're not going to know to ever follow you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Unless it's word of mouth and someone tells you should go follow them.
And Instagram would want to suggest it because they're engaging with content that's already similar to yourself.
Yeah, see, that's really interesting, man. And has there ever been, a certain client that you worked with where they weren't, because some people are super like Nazi about their Instagram account. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they don't want to change anything. Like they like the way that it looks or whatever, or
Don't want to go with the trend.
yeah, or like the confidence thing, right? Like some people don't have the confidence to really go up there and put like, in our example, it'd be like, Nick Usher, podcast host, as my name. Sometimes people will because people will do that all the time where it's like, it'll be da-da-da money coach or da-da-da gym influencer or whatever the fuck it is. But I also know, I've got friends in particular I know that would never do that. You know what I mean? No matter how serious they are in this fucking game. Do you ever run into clients like that? Where they're kind of like, they want to keep their Instagram the way it is, even though that's like kind of one of the biggest platforms to fucking try to market yourself on?
Yes. Luckily, most of my clients have been kind of open to it. I have had clients who have been like, "Oh, I don't want to do this. Like that seems stupid." And I'm like, "But it's how you're gonna get found."
Yeah,
It's what works. Like it's what works.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if they don't get the results they're looking for, which never really happens, but a few, like the ones I end up firing them.
Yeah, I feel that. Do you is Instagram like the main platform? Like if you were to go into a business and try to help them, or a business hires you to help them in any way, would Instagram be like your first point of contact where you're like, okay, let me check out your Instagram, and then from there go to maybe their website or their X account or whatever it is?
So I like to do like a full social analysis. So I look at what they're already running, areas where they can then improve on. So like if they don't have a YouTube's massive right now.
Oh yeah.
YouTube Shorts, dude, if you want to grow organically with no following, go on YouTube Shorts.
Yep.
Now all content is it's a long game. So you also want to look, all right, how much are they posting? What's the frequency? Because I believe it's kind of set up in a 5-phase process, right? So are they posting at least once a month to one platform, or once a week to one platform, right? Or maybe once to one platform. Now see phase 2, are they posting consistently on that day to the one platform? Phase 3, are they doing that now on multiple platforms? Phase 4, are they now rolling this out and maxing out all platforms? So posting as much as you can per platform. Every platform's different, right? And then phase 5, the last phase, is are they already converting people into new customers?
Gotcha. Okay.
If that's what they do.
Yeah.
Or, providing enough value.
That's interesting. Or like in our case, like just pulling people to the podcast, like watch the episode.
Yeah. So you should build value before you throw CTA out there. So like contrary to me posting the coffee video, it was just a really cool video, so I could throw a CTA in there. And it actually has worked organically to get leads for me with that. But like my next videos are all going to be value based, and then I'll throw out so you want to do value, then CTA, right?
I
So
see,
sprinkle
okay.
a little bit of CTA in there. So it's like Gary V, right? Gary V has the left, right, jab, hook. So you want to, throw value, CTA.
Got you. Okay, I like that. Yeah, because then the people are going to trust you more if you've given them like value. Like they've already gotten something from your content, so then it's like it's building that trust factor. I feel like
it's like a plane. So like this is the simplest analogy. The longer the runway, the heavier the payload you can have. So the more you can ask for.
True.
So if you provide enough value, the longer the runway is, the bigger the payload, the bigger the ask on the money you can do. So it's like, hey, if I provided all this value to you, I can ask for this amount of money. You're going to pay.
Right.
Oh, 100%, bro.
And that's why brand marketing is the key in 2024.
That's genius, bro.
Do you like TikTok for marketing or no?
I do. Yeah.
It's pretty good, but aren't they like shutting it down? Didn't a bill get signed? Like they're banning TikTok. They've said that like 10 times.
It's been going back and forth. I think at the worst case they're going to pass it off to like an American company. Like an American company he's going to have to sell.
Bring Vine back,
Yeah.
you know?
I've been saying,
Dude, that would be.
Vine was good days.
What about Yik Yak?
What the fuck is Yik Yak?
Never even heard of it.
Oh my god, it was like the talking shit platform of college.
Really?
Yeah. Back when I was in college, it was big for talking crap. Like you'd go in there, you'd be like, yo, like free ice cream at the cafe, or yo, this dude stinks.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Do you back to the YouTube Shorts thing?
Yeah.
I mean, I noticed me and Joey's videos, like videos that we wouldn't even. Sometimes I'm like hesitant to even post it because I'm like, this is a good clip, but it's maybe just super niche or something like that. It'll perform super well on YouTube for some reason. Like YouTube Shorts is just it's almost like a guarantee, bro, that you're gonna at least get a couple thousand views off of a video that's not even that solid. And then the ones where we are like, okay, this is
Once
the
we
best.
put so much work into it,
Yeah.
like we know it's going to do well, don't do shit.
So
Yeah.
you know podcast clips are like blowing up right now.
Oh, of course.
That's like the hottest stuff right now on the internet. Everyone's pushing it. If there's a mic and the camera like this, they're gonna push it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
You're saying the platform is going to push it, or
the platform's gonna
Oh
push
my
it.
gosh, that's interesting.
So like that's why like I would try to put a mic in it. Now on the coffee CTA video, originally when I filmed it, I did have a mic on it. But the only issue with that is like there's a lot of hand movements that I was doing and you couldn't necessarily see me. My face was kind of hiding.
For sure.
So we kind of switched it up. But when it comes to like you guys, like that's the bread and butter. I think also like looking at your captions, like you need to be doing SEO in your captions. So using keywords in your captions,
Yep.
Maybe hiding some keywords within the video itself and sliding it off specifically on like Instagram and Facebook and platforms that allow you to type stuff.
Oh, that's
yeah.
smart.
And always like if you want to see a better performing reel, a lot of times they also award people who go in and actually edit internally within the Instagram app. So yes, you can get your full edit done outside of it. But like I said, go in, type in a couple keywords, slide it off screen.
That's interesting because I've done that with stories a bunch, you know, where it's like you want to tag 15 people and you just slide their names off the side of the story and no one even knows that it's there, but they still get tagged in the video.
Yeah. I've also seen a shift in trending sound because you know how like a while ago it was like, yo, use this trending audio and follow the trend and you'll blow up.
Yeah.
Like here's 3 keys to blowing up on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I think now like there has been a shift towards longer format content actually. So they're actually rewarding it now in videos that you'd see typically, like it used to be like 2 weeks would be kind of the max peak. Now you're seeing it months later. Like I have videos that are still getting likes from months ago. Like I'm talking December.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm still getting engagement. It's still pushing out to people.
Break down that coffee video for me, man, because I know we talked about it a little bit beforehand, and obviously a lot of people that follow you obviously know about it. But you made a video that was super dope, Brand.
Appreciate it.
Basically, it was you just simple. I mean, you can explain it better than I can, but like you've got a list of things, like a little bar that you pull up, and you kind of switch through, like swipe through what you want. And you're like, what if you could get a cup of coffee like on demand or something like that?
Yeah. What if you could automate making your coffee in the morning?
Yeah.
So this is actually going to be a series. So I'm going to find all these different tasks that you can automate, like doing your laundry, right? These are all things that speak to high level entrepreneurs or anyone where it's like, dude, you'll go to freaking Dunkin' Donuts and go pick up your coffee. You'll go to McDonald's in the morning, go get a coffee. You'll go to Starbucks, go get a coffee in the morning. You're already automating your coffee, you know? So it's automating different tasks so you can focus on money generating tasks, things that are important. So the idea behind it was I was actually writing like 3 completely other different scripts. And I'm like, oh, wait, what if we did an automation thing? Because like that's what I'm pitching is like content automation. So I thought about coffee and little mundane tasks. So that's kind of how that came about. And I wanted to make a video, first hooking the audience in. So that's the coffee, because a lot of people like coffee.
Of course.
Right? And if they don't, then I'll make a tea one, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So, some people like coffee, some people like tea, some people like energy drinks. So maybe I'll also make an energy drink one. But it basically is to hook them in. So it's like, what if you could automate your coffee? And then like with content, it's like, what if you can automate your content? And I know we talked about this earlier offline. You're like, but like you want to control it, right?
Yeah.
But it's like, what if the coffee was better than you could ever made it yourself? And it was made by a barista with 10 plus years experience at the top coffee shop in the world.
Facts.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's thinking about that. And then it's like, now what if you could do the same with your content? Right? Because I have over 10 plus years content experience.
Yeah.
So it's like, what if we could automate your content? It's better than you could ever thought before.
Facts.
So I was trying to make it in a relatable standpoint where then it would trick your mind into when I got into the offer, the next one, you're more susceptible to listening to it. Because I've already broke limiting beliefs by talking about something else that you probably didn't want to let go, but you decided to let go to Starbucks because they have a bunch of years of experience.
True.
Oh, dude, that's actually a great
Was
point. I
Bending
like that,
my
man.
brain right now. Frick.
Yeah, but no, that video was great, man, because it captures the audience like right away. You know what I mean? As soon as I started watching it, I don't even drink coffee, but it was like everyone would like to do that, right? You know what I mean? Where it's like time is money at the end of the day, bro. No matter what you're doing, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a fucking music artist, even like just time is fucking money. And so if you're using all your time by doing these like dainty little fucking tasks that are for your business, when you could be offloading that work into something else or giving somebody like the keys to handle this for you when they've got way more experience in it anyway, why not do that? You know?
Yeah, it's huge. Because, I mean, if you're looking at it, like you should be focusing on revenue building activities or things that are going to drive the needle forward, like training your staff or managing your staff, not spending hours on something that takes years to learn.
Right.
Like to do that animation, that would take you a couple days.
For sure.
So it's like, are you going to waste a couple days just to put out one piece of content? Probably not.
Is there ever any times where you do make a piece of content and you're like, I kind of want to be the one to edit this and like draw it up and everything? Because you said, you know, you were making claymation videos and all these different things. Like, what was it hard for you to kind of let go of that control at any point?
Yeah. So kind of starting off, like I always have been like a control freak. I've been like, no one can do it better than me. That's not the truth.
Yeah.
There's people that you have to surround yourself. I think it's important to find a team that is better at you at a certain task, right? So I've kind of turned it into like, all right, I have you. You're really good at 3D animation. You're really good at 2D animation. You're really good at shooting videos. You're really good at coming up with captions and copywriting and landing form copy. You're really good at website design. So I've kind of found individuals and surrounded them. And then I still have the overall like vision and vision and overall view on it. And basically the direction that we're going to take. Mm-hmm. However, you know, I pulled my hands out on it. It was hard to take my hands off the content. It really was.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's been so rewarding since I've done that because it's allowed me to scale. Mm-hmm. And I would have never been able to scale because I created a bottleneck by myself. Like I was the bottleneck.
Yeah.
In my agency. Because I was like, I have to touch everything. I have to do everything. I want all the money myself. And, you know, I started making more money when I started giving up control. Mm-hmm. So if you want to scale, got to give up control.
But did it at any point did it feel like when you pulled your hands off of making the content, did it feel like you weren't doing enough?
No.
That's good, because I feel like a lot of people would feel like if they're not doing it themselves, I feel like a lot of people wouldn't feel like they're not doing enough. Yeah.
I mean, I talk to this, like I have my wolf pack, I like to say, is down in South Florida. I have some really good friends up here who are awesome, but like the people who I'm like, damn, like that's my people. Like South Florida, they're all like high level. Like one of the guys exited at 21 at $1 million bucks out of his first company. Yeah. So they're all just badasses down there. And like for me, like he talks to me about like giving up control, and like he struggles on that now, and he's like, oh, I don't want to give it up, but he sees the freedom that I'm able to have. Like I can now manage everything from a laptop and from a phone. I could be anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I can send a team out to go shoot at this location. I can send a team out to shoot at this location, right? They have surety. I don't have surety, right?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I have people who traded surety and like exact amounts of money, whereas like I have no surety. But as entrepreneurs, like we love painful growth. That's one thing that's crazy. Like we love growth, but we love pain.
Yeah.
So it's a painful growth, you know?
For sure.
And that's something that you have to fall in love with, is the process and the painful growth and uncertainty, right? I talked to my old business partner about this. He's like, dude, you've always been so like not risk adverse, the opposite of it. Like I've been so risky on stuff, but it's like I thrive in that.
For sure.
Yeah. So I think that's big.
That's interesting. And I think that it's so hard to scale too, right? Like when it's just a one-man show, or in our case, like a two-man show, like it's sometimes so hard to scale because it's like there is only so many hours in a day and so much time that you can edit this content and you can get these things done. But imagine if like me and Joey had somebody editing the entire episode and then doing all these clips in that same
day,
fucking 4 or 5 hour time period that we would have been doing that. We could be doing so many other things for the pod. And I do think that one of the things we struggle with when bringing someone on to handle that content for us is like what you were saying in the early part, is like you want it to look as good as, in my opinion, like I feel like our content looks really good right now. I think that like our whole aesthetic on our page looks really good right now and everything kind of matches. And I wouldn't want someone to come in and have a different kind of mindset on it. You know what I mean? But I think it's just a matter of finding the right person, you know, that just understands the mission and understands like what we're trying to, you know, produce for the people.
And I think I've always been really good, and I think this is something like you can take from it, is I've always been really good at providing direction and inspiring. So like inspiring them, like for example, you could hire someone and everyone cares about themselves. They don't care about you. End of the day. That's something that you have to think about.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, maybe this guy is just doing this job to make some money, but you find out, oh, what are you interested in, right? And I had this one employee and he was like, I'm really interested in fitness. I want to start my own fitness brand. Like I want to become, you know, a fitness coach and maybe open up a gym. So I'm like, how can I serve my employee the best? So I built a really good culture where I empower them by pairing them up with, like, for example, a fitness influencer, or I'd pair them up with a gym that we're working with, that we're launching ads with, so he can understand what it takes to build that side of the company. Mm-hmm. So it's something that he feels fulfilled in.
So he's also gaining value just from, like, it's not just like he's gaining the money that you're paying him to do this job. He's also gaining value and elevating his own personal brand through the gig that he has with you.
And there's been like times where, like, for example, earlier when I said I had to like fire a client, and like that client was paying like $6,000 a month, and it's like I fire the client and they're like, oh my God, like employees are like, I don't know how you do this. I'm like, just breathe.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. like I know how good I am at this, like not in a cocky standpoint, but I've done the repetition. I put in the work.
Yeah.
So I know like we're going to find something that's better, that's going to fulfill us more. And that's going to be coming around very soon. And guess what happens next week? It's here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And they're like, oh, they breathe. And they're like, I don't know how you do this. And I'm like, you
just got to do it.
You just got to believe, man.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have faith.
What is one of the biggest things your clients have done to hurt or hinder their Instagram growth? Or not just Instagram, but social media growth in general?
Really, I'd say,
obviously there's so many things, bro, but
Yeah, it's
like,
tough.
is there anything in particular that you have clients that were like, they just won't stop making the same mistake? Or a lot of your clients, like you see the repetition of, they don't want to get over this hump, or they don't want to change this about their account.
Volume.
Really?
Yeah. It's a volume game, end of the day. Like I said, so there's those 5 phases. So a lot of people will never reach phase 4, which is where you're basically maxing out the platform.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you grow. And it's also like I think a lot of people too also don't understand the value of content, because they're thinking about it as, oh, you're just making me a video. But here's the thing. You can use it to run your ads. You can find out what's going to perform with ads. You find a video that performs really well that you post out on all the platforms. You see how the engagement goes. You see how the comments. You then can take that video in, run it into the back end of Facebook, for example, if you're running Facebook, or you can run it through Google, and you already know what's going to perform.
Gotcha.
So there's like that A and B. You can also use it in the sales process. Like you can go send it over to someone. So there's multiple ways you can reuse your content to see more value in it as well. Mm-hmm. So I think that's like another big area.
Can you overpost?
Some platforms,
Okay.
Facebook's like a little weird.
How so? Like, what is there? Is it
There's
like
like
a
a daily posting limit that's like constantly changing.
really?
Yeah. I couldn't tell you the number today because I haven't looked at it this week, but it kind of fluctuates.
That's crazy. So if you make too many posts on the platform, it'll cut you off and not let you keep posting, or it'll just not let your content get seen by people.
Shadow it.
It'll limit how much it's seen.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't want to become spammy.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, like Instagram, like one of my buddies got like shadow banned for like a month. And he's like, I'm back.
That's crazy. And it's funny, like you mentioned the volume on all different platforms. Like, for example, I think we are actively posting on 4 different platforms, like X, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube Shorts, and then just normal YouTube videos, obviously. But through those 4 platforms, like it's so much posting. Like I can see how people would eventually be like, okay, continuing this every single day is like a lot of fucking work. Like you're on your phone so much just trying to get this content out. But at the same time, it's like one thing that's interesting about like Twitter specifically, or I guess X specifically, is for me, I don't use X on a day-to-day basis. Like I post on X every single day, but it's like going on there and posting like once in the morning, once at lunchtime, once in the afternoon, once at dinner.
But you
know
just
what I
log
mean?
on, post, and then that's it. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I think that's great for like ideas. Like post out your ideas, see how they do, and then make videos off those ideas.
Facts.
So then you're reusing what you're already doing. So I think that's like the scalability of it, is finding a plan where it's like, all right, I'm going to post this topic out and see if people fuck with it.
X is a great platform to just engage with people too, man. Like
Yeah.
it's you can make a tweet about something that's super random, or just something that you might not even really know a lot about that topic, but then you get tons of people that are like reaching out to you, and you guys are having this conversation like in front of everybody else too. So it inquires like other people to want to come in and, you know, engage with what you're doing. So I definitely, X has grown on me a lot, man.
when you were talking about your phases, like phase 1, phase 2, phase 1 is you post, right? And then phase 2 is consistency.
Phase 1 is like just posting. It's crazy how many people don't do that.
But like, are you saying, you say post like once a week?
So that's phase 2, right? So phase 1's like just like post.
Why just once a week?
So I mean, baby steps,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like ideally, like I want you to be at 3. Like I want you to be posting to every platform, you know, or ideally, like the most ideal spot would be probably sitting at 4.
Yeah.
If I'm bringing you on, like trying to maximize that out. But if you can at least be consistent on like one platform, I think that's huge. But-
Should you post every day on these platforms?
Yeah, I think every day, or at least like 5 days a week.
Yeah.
So we've been running a lot of 5 days a week. I think during the week, keeping it more business structured, and then weekends like enjoyment. So more lifestyle. Like you'll see the content plan that I'm rolling out is going to be like all business during the week, and then I'll post Sunday night specifically and do like lifestyle.
Gotcha,
Like kind of day in
okay.
the life, what I've been doing, cool stuff, like, you know, going out on the boat, taking the yacht out, going on the yacht, networking, going down, hanging out with my wolf pack down in Fort Lauderdale, Fort Lauderdale, and kind of rolling out that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. And you mentioned personal brand earlier in the episode too. So how important is that when you're growing a business or when you're just growing, like, you know, yourself in general, man? Like keeping that clean personal brand and making it easy for people to not necessarily consume, but just like understand who you are and what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't think it's for everyone, but I think it's important due to the fact, like, for example, look at Mark Zuckerberg. Like, probably about 4 months ago, everyone was looking at him and they're like, oh, he's an alien while he's in the trials. And then he's been building this personal brand, doing the jiu-jitsu back and forth with Elon Musk, you know, and now he's created a lovable, likable guy, right? So I think it's important from that aspect, as well as like you can get more qualified talent for your company when you're rolling out your information on your personal brand, because they can already get to know you. Like most people have employees and their employees don't know anything about the owner or the culture of the company when they're even there.
Yeah.
So if you can roll that out and people can get a better idea on that and also see kind of the value in what you do, I think that's important, as well as also for like acquiring new clients. Like there's been so many clients that have just gone to my IG and they see what we do. They see the results we get. They see that I get, 10,000, 30,000. They've seen that I've gotten upwards of 300,000 views, even towards the million on certain client video projects. So I think, it's huge to have that for social proof. It's always easier to close a warm deal than to close a cold deal.
Facts.
So like if you have a warm
Facts.
handshake, that's way better than a cold handshake all day.
For sure.
Cold handshake might be a dead person. So
Yeah. you might end up in the next episode of CSI.
Yeah. How do you go about finding clients? Do they reach out to you, or are you like constantly searching?
So I am going to be having a shift and I'll start doing paid ads. That's also been weird. I'm going to provide a little bit insight on that. A lot of you may have been seeing your CPMs on Facebook skyrocket. Rest assured, it's Temu.
Really?
What's CPM?
So cost per measurement. So whether it's impressions, whether it's link clicks, whether it's website drives, or whether it's direct messages, Temu specifically, and like the e-commerce, if you're selling anything on there, Temu's your biggest issue right now.
Really?
Why is that? Like, what does Temu have to do with it?
They're dumping money into it. So
Oh
they're
my
going to
gosh.
get it. It's just like election period. The issue is you're kind of combating like all these ads that are running that they're dumping millions of dollars in. So even if you're spending like, let's say 10,000 a month on ads, you're still getting screwed over.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not going to get the same results. Now, we still got amazing results for that client. Like we still had a 6 ROAS, so 6 return on ad spend 6 times. So like, let's say we dumped, let's say like 10,000 into it, we returned them 60,000 in revenue.
Got you. Okay.
So like, it still makes sense for the client, but it
Could have been better.
Could have been better.
Yeah.
Like we were running 10 ROAS. So like 10 times, 10x, 20x.
Wow.
Yeah. So like you'd put in like, and then at that point you just start scaling. Like you dump money into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense. Even at 6, you should dump money into it.
Yeah.
Oh, for
Because
sure.
like, if you could dump $100,000 into it, would you be happy with 600,000 on the
Come
back
on.
end? Come on.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people are kind of scared to pull that trigger and start running ads and start paying for ads. You know what I mean? Because they don't know if that money's going to come in as a thing. But if you got someone behind you like yourself, or someone that knows this fucking game and knows what the audience is looking for, then why not do it, bro? You know what I mean? The personal brand thing, I wanted to circle back to that because I think it's so interesting. It's like, I know for me and Joey, especially over the past, like, maybe half a year or something, have been really trying to like just grow our personal brand so that a lot of people can feel like they know me and Joey when they're watching the podcast. You know what I mean? And it's not just two random dudes that are interviewing a new guest every week. We want to build that like audience that, know, loves, and trusts you, where they just kind of, they feel like there's more of a connection there than them just watching you on the podcast, and I think it's interesting because a lot of people, you'll see other guys where they'll own a business or maybe they're running a clothing brand or something, and you almost don't even know anything about them. And it kind of,
You don't even know who it is. Like,
it makes
you can't
me
put a name to
hesitant.
face.
Yeah, for sure. And it makes me hesitant to support that company because, you want to know who that person is, and you want to know that person is going to put their face behind their brand, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I know dudes that have reached out to this damn podcast to be on the show, and I'm like, I don't even know what you look like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even know like who you are or anything, and I'd love to have you on the show. Your brand is incredible and you've done so many dope things, but it's like, in the end of the day, I can't put a face to the brand or a face to the name, and I think in this game, especially with like the social media age and shit, bro, that's so important.
Oh, it's huge.
And it's interesting, bro. It is really interesting. The personal brand thing. Have you ever seen me and Joey's Instagram accounts?
I have.
Did you like it?
I like some parts.
Give us some pointers. Let's hear it.
So if you don't mind, I'm going to pull up.
Oh, you got it pulled up.
Okay.
Oh,
that boy's seen our Instagram.
Oh, God. He's done his
Okay.
research.
Should we start with the podcast or the personal brands?
Let's do the pod first.
Yeah, let's do pod.
Okay. All right. So I really like your profile photo. I think it looks really good.
And this is for the podcast Instagram.
Podcast Instagram.
Okay, gotcha.
So we're specifically looking at the Instagram here.
Okay, perfect.
I'll provide this later for you to zoom in on it.
Perfect.
But yeah, so I really like your profile photo. It says what it is. It's nice. It's clear. It's legible. I like the OG sessions. All I would do is I'd move the podcast up because what is Instagram when you're searching? A search engine.
Gotcha.
So when you add that up there, if they're looking for a podcast, they'll be able to basically find it.
If it's in that category thing, does that not count? If it's like below it? Because I think ours is like a category.
Isn't it blue like on the profile? Like
something like that.
Still put it up there.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. Because that name is how like they search it. Like if you looked up Sean OLinn, what's going to pop up? Sean OLinn.
Yeah,
because my name's
true,
on there,
true,
right?
true.
Gotcha.
My name's that orange guy, not Sean OLinn. But if you search up Sean OLinn, I'm going to pop up.
Okay.
So if you put podcast and someone searches podcast, you're going to pop up.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Perfect.
First line, organic conversations. I like that. I would just also add who you have on there. So it's like we work with creatives, we work with artists, entrepreneurs. Yeah. Having that there, organic conversations with artists, entrepreneurs, and creatives.
Gotcha.
Right. Second line, I would do social proof, or it's kind of like, so it's like over 95 episodes, about to launch our 96. I like at the bottom, you have new episode, click here. It's a CTA. It's a call to action on that third line. So
Perfect.
Really
okay.
Now we're going to go to Joey.
Oh, hell.
Joey, you got to change that
What's
profile
wrong with
photo.
What do you mean? Why?
It's not clear enough, man. I got to say, like, that's probably the biggest thing for you, man. Nick has a great profile photo.
Yeah. So it should be more my face, not me standing in the background on something.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
that
And
makes sense.
that's something like I need to even change myself. I had my face in there, so I actually had a better one. But then I was like, damn, this photo did really good. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's not
People
as clear.
can't see you.
They can't see you. You need to be able to be seen.
True.
What about the people? Do you ever see the guys where they'll do like it'll be a cartoon version of themselves? You know what I mean? Like it looks very much like them.
Yeah,
but
I've
it's
got
like,
one of those. So you swipe.
Me too.
Yeah, we all have the animated. It's the Meta AI version.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So you can swipe and then it interacts. Like,
I actually had one made. So I have a TikTok, like a whole TikTok account for plants and shit. So, and I wanted a profile picture because I'm blowing up and I didn't want it to be my face. So I had my buddy make like an animated picture of me. Like I sent him a picture of me and he made it like not anime, but like kind of anime, and people loved it. It was so good.
Faceless TikTok also, or faceless like TikTok channel. I like that. Also, I think it's huge because, you know, I feel like all those kids are like into like anime video games, like on TikTok. Like, you know, like one hack for like a podcast clip. If I bet you if you put like a game above it and you did a split screen on it, I bet you'd blow up.
True.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I see that shit all the time.
All the time, bro.
Or like they're like playing with some shit, or like building something.
Yeah, or like oddly satisfying clips,
Yeah.
like huge. Like with Hotbox Pretzels, like I want to start getting into like those satisfying like clips with them.
Yeah.
And kind of getting that and launching that for some of the stuff. But yeah, that's huge. So I would also consider that. But Joey, back to you. So when we're looking at you, I really like how you have your name on there. However, I would also, you know, put what you do next to your name. Again, for that search optimization, that's going to be big. For line one, I'd put your value and what you do. Number two, the why they should follow you. So like over 95 episodes, we've been doing this, blase, blase. And then I really like how you have the OG Sessions host. I would just put that, listen to me at the bottom, boom, CTA call to action.
True. Then add a link maybe or something like that.
Yeah. And then you need to also add highlights of relative stuff to what you do.
Yeah, I don't really.
Should it
have
be
any
more
highlights.
personal life stuff, or should it be more of like? Should it be things for them to connect with Joey on a personal level, or should it be more things related to like driving them towards the podcast?
It depends on the approach you want to take. Do you want that to be your personal?
Because
or
right
do
now
you
it's
wanna
kind of
have-
both. Like I have both on there, but I love posting it. Like I want people to see my life.
I think if you're going to cross promote the channel, I would have at least one highlight on that. So when people go
Gotcha.
there, it provides more validity for what you actually do. It's huge.
Gotcha. Okay, that's interesting.
All right. On to Nick.
Oh, let's hear it.
Here we go.
Great profile photo.
Thank you,
Love
brother.
that. Yeah, phenomenal.
Thank you, brother.
Phenomenal. I don't know what's going on with this alien spaceship for your name, though.
It's a vibe, brother. It's a vibe.
That's all he can say. It's a vibe.
I love aliens, but I would probably put your name and what you do there.
Okay, word.
Because
Your name isn't spaceship.
yeah,
Dude, that has been
unidentified flying object. I'm gonna search that on Instagram. You're gonna be the only thing that pops up.
that's good marketing right there, baby.
Hey.
No, but one thing that's been my name on Instagram for so long. It's like when he brought that up, I didn't even
Know what he
think
was talking about.
Well, I mean, I didn't even think that like that was my name. Like he brought it up personal conversation whenever he first showed up, and I was like, wait, he's right. It is just that's my name is literally just a fucking UFO. And I'm sure like if I were to ever message somebody, like whenever we were messaging before this happened,
it pops
it's
up as
just a UFO.
That's hilarious.
That is
so funny.
Who the fuck is this?
Luckily, it shows your face. So unlike his.
Well, mine has my name. Mine has my name.
Yeah, but I feel like you're human. He's probably like Mark Zuckerberg like 3 months ago.
So we have to somewhere between where me and Joey are at right now. That's the happy medium.
Yeah, if you combine the two, maybe get rid of favorite of the gods and add what you do there. I think that's also good. I like that you have the OG Sessions pod on the number 3. That's great. Yeah. And definitely change the popping bottles.
My brother likes to pop bottles.
Dude, in those, if you go and click those stories, I think the first one's from like 2016 or something.
Damn.
Like, yeah, I was like, God, it's going to be so sad to let these videos go. I actually thought about doing that recently, though, because I was like, it's been so long since we posted a popping bottle story. We used to do this shit all the time.
We could do it.
We could. We used to do that shit all the time.
You know how I'd rebrand it?
How?
Do it here. Buy a bottle for every podcast show.
Popping bottles.
Pop the bottle.
That's
and
good.
then you pour it up into a glass and you guys sip it while you do it. And that way you can brand it towards your podcast to where it still makes sense for you to have that on your profile.
I just want to make it a point that we need to have alcohol in here. And you're like the 77th person that says, I want to drink.
Yeah, Joey's very big on.
I don't even like drinking like that, but I feel like I watch so many podcasts and they have like a little glass of like whiskey on like rocks or some shit.
Dude,
well, it just gets you loose.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's a great piece to have, but typically when we're recording these podcasts, it's like in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
I'm not drinking whiskey
today's a little, that's what I'm saying. Like today's a little bit later, but like, bro, we've recorded like 9 a.m. episodes before
Bloody
and you're just
Marys.
like, yeah. And then the whole rest of your day.
Mimosa Comatosa.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
And then we're gonna go from 1.5 episodes to 4.5 hour episodes, just rambling. And honestly, I do like a lot of those podcasts. Like Shannon Sharp is one where they're always pouring up throughout the episode, but it kind of pulls like more out of the guests and more out of ourselves as well, man.
Yeah. And until you do too much, like
Then you say some dumb shit.
The one podcast I ran before, it was kind of like spontaneous on the spot. And I definitely, it was after a photo shoot, and we did like a celebratory thing at the end because it was a big brand marketing shift for him. He totally rebranded his website, and we ended up I was like, hey, I want to make this a special moment. Got a bottle of tequila, vodka, mixers. We did it at the, over in Atlantic Beach at that studio.
Yeah.
Phenomenal atmosphere in there, and we shot there, and then I was pretty drunk by the time we did the podcast. So I wouldn't suggest drinking too much, but I think like having one to get the nerves off is pretty good.
Yeah, for sure. Also for the guests too, you never know. Like sometimes guests they prefer to kind of get in that mode because me and Joey do this shit every week, so we're so comfortable being on the podcast. But sometimes people, if it's like their fucking first time on the show, the nerves start to kick in a little bit. But I mean, dude, we could very much make that shit happen.
Please. Shit, I've been trying.
Let's go ahead and pause it. I'm kidding.
It's funny because mimosas maybe would be able to slide, but there's no way I'm drinking a fucking whiskey at 9 a.m. for some of these episodes, you know? But hey, Joey.
Come on.
Brother, you do you, brother. Brother, you do you. Maybe that's a secret session idea.
Yeah.
No, but I appreciate you going through our personal pages like that, bro, because sometimes like I didn't even realize like certain aspects of it are sometimes it's like I'm going for like that mysterious aspect, you know, where it's like not being very clear on what I do, but like you can go to my profile and see that I do a lot of shit, you know?
Then you're never going to get found.
Facts, 100%.
And you got a niche down. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important. That's why I also think like suggestions for you guys is to actually rep the brand on there too, because like what you guys do, obviously like it's on there, but like optimizing that
Gotcha.
to get found.
For sure.
Because like that's free traffic.
True. We are kind of sleeping on it. Like that is crazy.
Dude, I mean, we put so much work into the actual podcast page. I think that sometimes like our personal pages kind of get left on the back burner with certain things. I mean, there's days, bro, where I don't even go on my personal Instagram account like at all. You know, there's been times where I'm not on my Instagram account for like 4 days straight just because I'm only on the podcast page, just trying to like focus on the business side of shit. You know what I mean? And me and Joey over the past 6 months or whatever, just been trying to like really hone in on posting stories on our personal page, like keeping that engagement up so that people feel like they can, when they're listening to the pod, they're listening to me or Joey or both of us. They're not just listening to two dudes on the OG Sessions pod.
Yeah. I will say like one thing I really like about both your pages though is that you guys are genuine.
Appreciate that.
I think that's huge.
Thank you,
like,
bro.
Being true to who you are. Like I thought about the other day, I'm like, I'm going to rent this and rent this Lambo and go get a video. And like, that's not me.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't have the Lambo yet. I'm going to get it one day. But I'm not there yet. Right?
Facts.
So it's like, I really like that aspect of how you guys kind of stay true to who you guys are on that. And that's something that I always try to embody within my brand. It's like, hey, this is what I do. This is the results I provide. You know, I don't have the Lambo yet, but we're going to get it soon.
It's coming.
100%.
Give me like 2 years.
Is that the dream car?
No. Hell no.
What's a dream car?
Oh, God.
Mazda?
Konenzag.
A what?
Konenzag.
What is that?
I don't even know
Is
what
that the
that is.
truck? The like newer?
No. So the Konenzag is like, it's a European race car. It's really nice.
Is it legal?
Really?
Like street legal?
Yeah. If a Pagani street legal, it should be street legal.
Okay.
That's crazy.
I think it's more than a Pagani though.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
See, I'd be happy starting off with like, I really like those Resvani tanks too.
Yeah,
I don't
those
know
are
if you've
crazy.
seen those. Like that'd be a cool, like badass car to pull up in.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important to invest in a nice vehicle so that way when you pull up, people see like, hey, he makes money.
Yeah, for sure.
So I don't think it's bad, but also like I also like Alex Hormozy's approach, like where he was like, yeah, dude, like I rolled up in a beat up Prius for 3 years, and they're like, aren't you a millionaire? He's like, yeah. And then he's like, he talked about it in a podcast, and he's like, I bought a Bentley, but then I like instantly regretted it because same thing as Prius.
It'll
That's
still get
true,
you where
yeah.
you need to go.
Yeah.
So get you where you need to go.
Yeah, but it's not the same thing
But
as
it
Prius.
But it wasn't. He was like, it wasn't that much cooler.
Alex Hormozy, I take a lot of shit from him, bro. He's a fucking legend, man.
Huge. I think like for example, like when you start to rebrand your account, this is something really big from him. Like make an announcement video. So that's also why I've been holding off, is because I'm putting together this crazy announcement video of like, hey, I might have met you during the college promoting. I might have met you through college. I might have met you through business, but like I'm taking a shift in my account. This is who I am. This is me. This is how I've been built up. I've defied odds my whole life. I was half paralyzed, battled epilepsy, went from like the slowest kid on the cross country team to and track and field team. I got teased for it, and then I went to sophomore year being one of the top runners in the whole entire U.S.
Good shit.
Yeah, crazy stuff. I don't really talk about it much, but
Damn.
like I've always been one who defies odds. So I kind of have like this introduction video coming out about defying the odds, and I think that's kind of what makes me who I am today. And also like my dad was an entrepreneur. He crushed it, and he always like taught me how to lead and move forward, and like talking about the background on my parents and the background on, you know, who I am as a person, and kind of building that up and giving a background on me, and then announcing where the shift in content's going to come.
That's dope.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is important, just to keep your, like, it makes people feel like they're getting in there on day one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you do that announcement video, like sometimes people think that, you know, oh, he's been doing this shit for a long period of time, or like years at this point, you know what I mean? But then they see that announcement video and they're like, okay, no, like I'm here. I'm a day one supporter now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here from the start. No, dude, I love it, man. I just wanted to ask you, where did that orange guy come from?
That's a good one.
What does it mean, that
So-
orange guy? I mean, I think it's so dope. We had to have that orange guy on
on
the
the
orange
podcast.
pod.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, when I
exactly.
saw this, I was like, this is me.
Yeah.
I just needed to make an orange hat instead.
You can just take the whole studio with you wherever you go.
I'm just afterwards, I'm going to get like my animator to make this hat orange, you know, when we post the video.
That's funny.
No, I think like the big thing for me was like thinking like, what do you think of Florida? Immediately, like what's the
Oranges,
first thing?
100%.
Oranges.
Yeah.
So like as me being someone who's branding myself as an entrepreneur out of Florida, I was like, hey, that orange guy. Now originally my content had, back when it was trendy, the teal and the orange look to it. So all my content had that integrated within the edits. And then I ended up wiping a lot of that. I actually brought some of it back more recently, but I ended up like archiving all that off my page when I made the shift to being more professional branding on it. And then kind of brought it back now recently.
You're talking about the orange and blue like aesthetic, like when you go
Yeah.
through your page and all the posts match and
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about that, bro.
Yeah,
So many people used to do that.
Dude, it's huge. It was
That's
like
insane. I totally forgot.
Like when I originally got into content, it was like a passion thing. Like, and I think it's important to still do passion projects. So that's something like I've been talking about doing, but we've just been so busy. But now that I've pulled myself out of working in the business and more working on the business, I can now start to look at passion projects.
Yeah.
So like I'll only realistically like touch a camera if I'm passionate about what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Right.
Got you.
So, cause like a lot of times like the work itself took the passion out of it. Cause it's like, I'm basically doing repetition and making all these videos and having to edit 24/7. And it's like, I lost sight for a while of like why I truly started. And I got into it with doing like travel, lifestyle, like Sam Colder, type videos. That was like a big thing. And like always challenging myself. And like every video still is a challenge, but now it's more on the directing side of things. So it's like, I challenge my people to level up every single day. So I'm like, hey, like what if we made, you know, basically like a holographic screen and I swipe through it and then there's different coffee and then I want the coffee to come out to it, but I don't want it to look holographic. I want it to look real. Like, so like I actually, if I'll add you guys to my private on my main page, but on my private story, I show the progression of edits that we work on. So I thought it'd be super cool for like my high level entrepreneur friends. Like I'll put all these videos up. Like I put up probably about like 4 renditions of that coffee video before you saw the final one. So that way they could see the process on it.
That's cool.
Yeah. That's interesting.
So it's not like, it's like you see that video and you're like, oh, that took him like one day. It's like, no, that was like over weeks.
And grinding.
Yeah. And I was like, no, we're going to change this. We're going to adjust this. And like, I have the most badass editor ever. Saeem is the best. Like shout out Saeem if he's watching this. Great editor. And it's really fun working with him because like anything vision wise I have, like I would go out and do it and he does the same thing. Like he'll figure it out. He's one of those guys who's like, I'll figure anything out. So then I tell him like, hey, I want to do this. And then he brings it to life. And I'm like, all right, let's tweak this down. Let's add more of like a holographic blue effect. All right, take the blue off so we can see the videos a little bit better. So like there's always constant adjustment and I always try to push them to be the best they could possibly be because I hold that same expectation for myself.
I like that, bro. What are some of the passion projects you've been working on recently that are like things you're actually excited about? I mean, obviously you're excited about every client, I'm sure, but is there anything in particular where you're like, okay, this is my forte right here?
So I really want to get into charity work eventually.
Okay.
So like I want to give back. Like that's the goal. If you can make all the money, then like if you can't do something with it and a positive impact, then like what's the point? So one of the projects I really liked making, which it was rather simple. It was filming myself, but my motorcycle got stolen like probably about like 4 years ago. And then it randomly popped up this year in Georgia.
No way.
Yeah, and this cat, it was a military guy, and he bought it from someone, and it's probably exchanged now through 3 hands since it was stolen. And since he's a military guy, he called the cops, and he's like, hey, man, I found this bike. So I drove all the way up to like the middle of Georgia to go surprise him, and I gave him the title on it. So that was like a cool passion project that made me feel good and stuff like that. So I want to get behind that. I want to get behind certain, like, for example, like there's like a wolf sanctuary. So getting behind these people and then raising money and then doing donations and getting like people in my circle to match those donations and then going there and like presenting a check and making a video around like what they do and how they help to raise awareness for different organizations.
That's dope.
Yeah. That's sort of like the passion projects I want to get into, as well as like some cool edits. Like next year for my birthday, I filmed some clips a long time ago and I wanted to make like a futuristic, like me in the future with like flying cars. I put up a green screen at my bed and then I fall back. And as I fall back, the camera goes down and then it comes out of the sand. And I want to go to White Sands National Parks in New Mexico and then film me coming out of the sand dune and doing some cool passion projects kind of like that on the side, just for some fun branding.
Oh, that's sweet. Yeah. Do you have anything that you do to kind of keep your mind right outside of doing the marketing and things like that, like just things that keep you in that zone? Because you seem like a super level-headed dude and somebody that's obviously putting so much time with this shit. But there's got to be some kind of outlet that you have, right?
Yeah, so a couple of different things. Like I like to read books because, again, you can condense down decades worth of knowledge.
What's the book you're reading right now?
Ooh, Sam Walton, Made in America. Love Sam Walton. That's nice. Mr. Walmart.
Oh, okay.
Sam Walton, Walmart.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Sam's
dope.
Club.
No way. Same?
Sam's Club, Sam.
Is
Sam
it
Walton.
same guy?
Same guy.
That's crazy.
way.
Sam's Club is owned by Walmart, yeah. So it's pretty interesting seeing him. And then I also was listening to this podcast, Acquired, that talked about Costco. So it was funny. Sam Walton loves to like go and like be like, hey, let me check out what you're doing. So he went to go check out what they're doing. Also Sal Mart. Sal is like the godfather of like modern day consumerism. So like looking how Sal made FedMart, and then of course came Walmart, Kmart, and all those. And then FedMart went out of business, but Costco came about of it because the guy worked for him and then kind of left him and then started Costco. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I've been reading. I love Alex Hormozi, $100 million offers, $100 million leads. Hormozi's like the godfather of,
he is, bro.
Like just providing value.
Yeah.
Like,
you ever listen to his podcast?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Cause
the game.
The game.
Yeah.
Bro. I listen to Alex Hormozi's podcast all the time, bro. And, he's another one of those guys where on social media, he does a great job of capturing your attention with social clips. So like it'll be a social clip of him talking, but then behind him he'll have these crazy, like it's a bunch of words obviously related to what he's talking about, but it's not like your typical just captions below you talking. It's like filling up the whole screen behind you, and then he'll have like a damn whiteboard next to him and he'll be breaking down like this celebrity and how they did it.
You want to know why the whiteboard's so good?
Why?
Because it's doing 2 things at once. If you can do 2 things at once, people they go back and forth, they'll stay on your content.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Keep them engaged.
Yeah, so it's more engaging than me just sitting here talking to you like this.
And you feel like, for me, whenever I see a whiteboard in any kind of video, I know that I'm going to be gaining some kind of value.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what is a whiteboard used for? It's school,
To write shit
you know what I'm
down.
saying?
Breaking
Planning,
things
things like that.
down,
Breaking
yeah.
things
Did you
down.
put a whiteboard on the wall?
Right here. So like throughout the episode, we're just trying to. Okay, so you said,
I thought
Sean,
about
what was
bringing
that?
I thought about bringing one and putting it right here.
Prop it up.
Oh,
Right,
laser.
so-
Get a laser.
Instead of all them taking notes, we're like, all right, we're going to take notes for y'all today. So just
Everybody
copy
write
down
this.
everything I'm writing down.
Yeah.
That's funny, man. Do you guys want to jump into Joey's top 3?
Let's do it. I got a good one.
Joey's top 3. Boys, we are here. Joey's top 3, episode 95. Sean, Joey's top 3 is a segment that we do every single week. I don't know if I briefed you on it yet.
You didn't.
But basically,
Throw me in the fire.
here's what we do, man. So we like to give our audience a little bit of a deeper knowledge of who our guest is. So we do a segment called Joey's Top 3 where he comes up with a category and we all give our top 3 in that category. For like the first 10 episodes of season 2, he would randomly do this shit. So
I just
we'd be
like knowing people's top 3.
like middle of the episode, it's just kind of a way to like learn more about the guest.
He's
And
like, kill, marry, fuck. I don't know if we had to bleep that out.
No, we're keeping that in for sure. No, but it's funny. He would always do it, man, and it was like I loved it because it would kind of just like give us a deeper understanding of who the guest is. And typically, it's not super related to what we're talking about, so it's like cool because then the audience can kind of learn a little bit more about the guest. And then eventually, bro, it was like 11 of season 2, and I was like, all right, we gotta make this a segment, bro, because I just fucking love it. So Joey's top 3. What do you got for us today, brother?
Today, I want to know top 3 water bottle brands.
Very
Talk to
interesting.
me.
Very interesting.
Wow. I'd have to say top 3 water bottle brands.
We're going?
It doesn't have to be a bottle, just like a container of water. Give me a box.
Water
of
brands.
Water brand, yeah.
Okay. What about? Are we going based off of marketing or are we going based off of taste?
Taste.
Okay, well there are some.
I mean,
brands-
take
okay.
it all
I
and
like this.
take it all into an account. Like
All right.
marketing,
Can it be
taste.
one of those that
Yeah.
does like, could it be like, so it has to be specifically a packaged bottle, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I know
It can't be ocean water.
there's super brands from.
Could it be
super-
like water that I ran through a filter myself?
No.
Okay. I wasn't sure if we do like
Brita
reverse,
doesn't
reverse osmosis or something like something crazy like that, like electrically shocked reverse osmosis. No, so I would say probably number 1 has to be, or top 3. I'm not going to in any particular order.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go with Fiji because I feel like that's basic.
but it's so good.
But it's so good.
You know, like everyone
Put it on the list.
You know, it tastes better than all the other waters.
Fiji, Body Armor,
Ooh,
and because it's got a higher pH, so I think it's a little bit better for you.
Right.
I always stick to the higher pH waters.
That's good.
typically, or I just go with good old Zephyr Hills.
Zephyr Hills, baby. You can't beat that Zephyr Hills, bro. That's like the best, like basic water.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if it's between Aquafina, Zephyr Hills, Dasani, all that shit, bro.
Here's
it's
the
like,
thing: you need to be drinking spring water.
sure.
You don't want to drink that.
Vitamins and minerals.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, you're drinking like crap water if you're buying Dasani,
Yeah.
or if you're buying Aquafina. That's all literally made from Coca-Cola, and it's just like water out of the machine.
You know what I learned the other day? The color of the caps on water bottles means something. Like if it's white or like clear or black, like it's either spring water or like Dasani fucking bullshit or like
So you've been doing your research on this.
I like
yeah, that's
water. I
interesting.
love water.
Really?
Water's so good for
What's
you.
your top 3?
You want to know
waters?
my top 3?
Yeah.
This is in order.
Okay.
Number 1 is Zephyr Hills, just because I grew up on it. That shit just it never misses. Zephyr Hills, and then number 2, I'm gonna do. You ever had that black water?
Oh, like the mud water?
Yeah.
No.
It doesn't taste like any. It tastes like water,
But it's got the nutrients in it.
and it's
Yeah.
it's crazy. I feel like I should be sick after drinking it, but I feel great. So Zephyr Hills and then that black water, and then there's another one. It's a metal can, Life water maybe. I think it's called Life.
yeah. I
Life
know exactly
water.
what you're talking about. Yeah.
I love their marketing and their can. Like you can reuse. It's a thick aluminum can. You can reuse that shit.
Okay, now you lost me at the thick aluminum can because I know about. Are you talking about Liquid Death?
Nope.
No, I know what you're talking
No,
about.
it has a
Life
screw
water.
cap.
Yeah. Because they're getting rid of. It's like, oh, Liquid Death's phenomenal too.
Liquid
I
Death
should have
is
really thrown
phenomenal,
that in
bro.
on. Yeah,
I was going to throw them
I'm
in for
sorry,
the market.
yeah.
That's why I asked him about if it's marketing
Yeah.
or taste. Because
marketing, phenomenal marketing. Too.
Yeah.
phenomenal.
true.
Murder your thirst.
Have you ever looked at those underneath the microscope though?
What?
Your water.
No.
Why would I want to do that? I don't want to be turned off from water.
Yeah, so I once recently, it was actually 2 days ago, I looked at I looked at not water underneath a microscope, but I saw a video of ramen noodles underneath a microscope.
Oh no,
I don't eat that shit.
Do you like ramen?
I love ramen, bro. I mean, I haven't had it.
Do you want it to be ruined for you?
Yeah, do it.
There was mites on that.
No way.
Shut
I
up.
swear. Multiple all over it.
Like scary looking mites. There's probably mites on everything, bro.
Imagine this thing's inside you crawling around.
Okay, here he goes.
There we go. All right, let's easy back.
And we're done.
You're not eating ramen anymore. This might
no,
get cut
for
from the
sure.
segment.
And it's funny because they're so cheap, right? Like, there's no way it's a super healthy snack, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, I always wonder, I'm like, how the fuck are they making any money off?
Because there's mites in that bitch.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where you get the protein from.
Yeah, they probably have like one factory they make it in, and then like when health administration comes in, they're like, "Oh, it's the one next door. Come on in. Yeah, we got this one little clear area, just one little conveyor belt here. You know."
Yep, that's it.
What's your top 3 waters?
Top 3 waters, I got to throw Liquid Death on there just because I love their marketing, and I've always been a big fan. I mean, their water tastes great as well, but just the mountain water concept, I think that shit's dope.
Yeah.
I really like Essentia, bro. Essentia water. I don't know what it is.
It's like Arctic water. Is that
No, I
Is
don't.
that the one with the mountains on it?
No, Essentia. It's got like a red and black logo. It's got like, I think a plus sign is like part of their logo, whatever. It just tastes so good.
That's
bro.
one of those pH ones, I think.
Like, I'm a big water
pH
connoisseur.
guy.
Like, I'll buy like the extra, the $1 more expensive water just because it tastes better.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, dude, like you said, Fiji. Like Fiji and Voss, bro, it tastes different.
Yeah.
Like, you say what you want, it is more expensive. That shit tastes better, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
especially Voss, and it comes in that bigger water bottle too. Like, bro, forget it.
All right, now
I'll
we're
take
all
Voss.
going to say the number 1 worst water brand on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Dasani. Let's go. I almost said Aquafina.
Fuck you, Dasani. No,
Aquafina's bad.
This episode is not brought to you by Dasani.
Yeah, definitely not. And that's why we take the labels off all our waters, because if there is a water brand down the road that wants to collab, and
Hit us up.
bro,
We drink
'cause
water.
Where there is an opening.
How many times do you ask this water question?
Shut up.
I almost feel like you need to do like 2 chains, most expensivest, and like bring on a couple different waters.
I love that.
Do like
exactly.
a blind taste test with one of your people.
I might do that shit after this.
Yeah, honestly. Run a secret session real quick. No, man, but let's get back to it. I just wanted to ask you a few more questions about just like the marketing side and just growing your personal brand and things like that. Whenever you get on board with a new client and you're, I guess, just trying to learn their page and like learn like the things that they need help with, what are some of your like key points or key factors that you're looking for within that person's business?
I think a big thing is like, what value do they provide? So I think that's huge. Like, if you don't have any value to provide, it's hard to scale you out on Instagram or on YouTube or TikTok, because everyone's there. Like, again, playing off the factor that like everyone cares about themselves, they don't really care about you. It's like, what value can you provide? Like, I went into Bold City and we talked about doing a commercial for them, and the owner of Bold City, like no beef on it, but like it was just something that he said that he actually liked my suggestion on it. But he was like, "Oh, I want to show like the packaging of it. I want to show the process. I want to talk about the ingredients." And I sat there and I was like, "Hey, man." No one cares about you. They only care about themselves. So we need to show like the consumption behaviors, like a family at the ballpark having a Bold City brew with the family, or like with a husband and wife on the boat, maybe going out to Fort George, drinking on a Bold City, over, watching 4th of July fireworks, having a Bold City, all these moments that mean a lot, like maybe a kid's birthday party, drinking a Bold City after a game of golf, having Bold City, fishing, Bold City. So it's like all these different consumption behaviors, and show that, right? Do a little video of it kind of showing the packaging, but really showing those consumption behaviors and making it where it's like, this is what these experiences are, what you identify as. So figuring out like what their customers are, like what they like to do, and then revolving the content around them.
True.
I think a lot of these businesses and just entrepreneurs in general need to put themselves in the position of their consumer. Like when they're looking at it, like, it's probably, you can probably create a super dope video showing the entire process from start to finish on how you're making a Bold City brew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But in the end of the day, it's like, as a consumer, I want to know, how is this beverage going to make my life better?
Yeah.
I don't care
You know
how
what
it's
I mean?
made.
Exactly. I mean, and sometimes you do. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, there are certain brands where it's like, I love when they do the behind the scenes stuff, but like, that's more so for the people that are already like super into what you've created and super into your brand in general. But when you're trying to capture that initial person, for me, if I never heard of Bold City Brewery, obviously we all have, but if I had never heard of them before, I would like to see that video of someone enjoying a cold brew while they're, about to go surfing or when they're, out at the beach with their friends. Literally. Or doing things that I enjoy doing, because that's going to incentivize me to be like, okay, I want that Bold City brew. I want to have that same smile on my face as that dude in the video.
Because people can see themselves in, like, people follow you because they remind them of someone, of like yourself. So like, it'd be like, I'd follow you because like you remind me of myself or of someone I want to be like.
Gotcha.
So people would be following it and would purchase that consumption behavior because they saw that consumption behavior.
I see.
Yeah. And I learned that from Red Bull when I worked for them. So I did student brand managing in the beginning of my college career with Red Bull. And I kind of learned a lot of like consumption behaviors and different times when people would consume and how you kind of market it and creating an emotional attachment to that consumption behavior as well. Yeah.
What was that like working for Red Bull, man? Because I respect their branding so much, and just, I mean, me and Joey have talked about it before on this pod. It's like, if I could choose really any brand to be like a big time sponsor of this show, it would be fucking Red Bull, bro. Like, look at their athletes, dude. Like, their athletes are living the fucking dream because they're sponsored by Red Bull. It seems like sometimes, you know what I mean? It's just like the benefits of working with a company like that, but also just the swag, bro, of Red Bull. You know what I mean? Like, their branding is on point, man.
People work for Red Bull because of the brand.
Yeah.
That's why.
100%.
I was like, I want to be that guy.
Right?
Yeah. I want to work for him. And I worked for like 2 years just trying to get into the team. Like, it's so hard. Like, and most of the team is like women on like the sampling. Now it's kind of changed. There's been a shift, but previously, like, it was always like girls, I felt like, on the sampling team. So I had to get into the student brand manager position, which is now, I think, a whole different name for it. But, it was cool. It was definitely cool because I was able to do different things from like the everyday sampling. So like the Red Bull girls would go up or Red Bull boys would go out and like sample out of the car. I would be doing cool stuff like, we're going to put a crate down and put a parachute in a tree and make it look like Red Bull got airdropped. So that was Red Bull airdrop. Then we had one where we set like a one of those convenience machines where you go up like the Coca-Cola machines, but it was a Red Bull machine, and we put it out at the library and we set it to free. So if people clicked on it, it's rewarding curiosity, right? So Red Bull's big brand around it is like, we're going to reward the curious. So if someone goes up and actually tries to go check it out, they'd get something, right?
Oh, that's cool.
Sweet. Yeah. So I worked for a long time, like getting it in and like pitching ideas and helping out the previous guy. So that way, when it came down to like the interviews, I crushed it. I had already built a relationship with them. I was the vice president of IFC previous to getting the job. So I did a major tailgate revolving around Red Bull and included them in it, and kind of started the conversation there and try to help out and figuring out ways I can kind of integrate myself within it.
That's dope, man. I like that. Is there any specific like other brands you look at where you just respect their marketing game? Like, I know for me, there's multiple brands where it's like, for example, GoPro.
Yeah.
You look at GoPro, their marketing is fucking incredible. And it helps whenever you're a camera company, you know what I mean? And you can create all these dope videos using your own equipment and things like that. But just the way that they go about it, the way they create their content, and I know for me, when I bought my first GoPro, I thought that my videos were going to look exactly like GoPro because of the way they portray it. You know what I mean? You think that, it's very easy to create a lot of those videos, right? And you just have to learn how to get good at editing and things. But it's the way they put it out there. You think you're going to get this camera and you're going to immediately go out there and do a triple backflip, just like, half of their athletes are doing it on a snowboard and shit. You know what I mean? So GoPro is one of those ones for me. Is there anything, like any specific brands for you where you kind of take notes from the way that they go about their business and the way they market their business in general?
Yeah, so I think recently one of the ones I really like was Mercedes. I like their ability to collaborate with creatives too. So I saw this one guy, I actually follow him. I actually reached out to him too. I'm trying to hire him. But I saw a video that he made for Mercedes and I'm like, damn, that's sick. Like, I like brands that think outside the box, kind of like Red Bull, and Mercedes kind of showed that. Like, they did a reveal party of the G-Wagon that's coming out, and they had like Travis Scott there performing on the G-Wagon, and like the video was just like epic. And I think if brands can take an out of the box perspective on things and provide value, but do valuetainment, so like entertaining value, I think that's huge, because I feel like there's two categories of content. So when looking at a commercial or anything, there's that entertainment and then there's that educational value. So if you combine the two, you'll have a means of success.
I like that. Yeah. And collaborating with people that already have that, like, basically, like, it's kind of like a cosign whenever you work with somebody like Travis Scott or somebody that's got obviously a ton of loyal fans anyway. you know you're going to get that big push because people know, love, and trust Travis Scott, you know? One more thing that I wanted to ask you, though, the point keeps coming up. Do you feel like there's a big shift in social media coming soon? Like, for me, I always feel like social media is changing constantly. Do you feel like there's, especially like specifically platforms like Instagram and you know, X and TikTok and things like that, do you feel like there is a big shift coming for those platforms? Like you mentioned, podcasts are blowing up right now, like the podcast clips and things like that. What do you think is next for some of these big social media companies?
I think they're starting to shift to more long format. So against contrary belief, like previously people were like, oh, short format. But like we said earlier, it's about keeping it engaging throughout the whole duration. And now not necessarily doing those short trends, thinking more long-term on things and watching the content grow over time. Like YouTube, like you could post a video and it might not blow up for, you know, a couple days, couple weeks.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can post it and then not see anything for a while. Same with IG. Like when I started posting on my fitness page, I only had like, I want to say like 60 followers and I was getting like 10,000 views.
Holy fuck.
Yeah. But sometimes I'd get them like 2 hours after posting.
Yeah.
So it's not all immediate, right? So that was also during the 2-week shift. And I was, necessarily following the trending audio.
Yeah.
But I think like that's a big shift, and also like providing value. Like more and more people are providing value and finding a way to stand out from the masses. And that's creating unique, personalized branding across all your platforms.
I love it, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope, man. Let's go ahead and plug these people in. Where can they get more free game from you and stuff, man?
Yeah. So if you want free game, go ahead and follow me at that.orange.guy on Instagram. Love to provide the free game. Besides that, you can check us out at trueculturemarketing.com as well as True Culture Marketing on Instagram.
Hell yeah,
sir.
bro. And I was going to ask if you had if you keep them separate, because I know some people, like, they'll have an entire company, an entire brand off their personal page. You know what I mean? Do you feel like that actually makes a difference? Do you feel like that's important to have them kind of separate?
I originally kind of made it that way, but now with this new plan I'm rolling out, we're going to be cross-pollinating all of it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's kind of big with like the whole like cross-pollinating, like anyone I do a collaboration with, that way their followers can see it. And then it also provides a higher viewership and higher engagement. So then the content just blows up.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's a big key to going viral right now.
I love it.
Huge on collabs.
We're very huge on that as well, man. That's why we love doing, you know, typically a lot of the guests we have on here, like yourself, are fucking dogs. You know what I'm saying? Like they're big in the marketing game anyway, and they're already posting tons of good content, and they do have that audience that trusts them. But I like what you said about that, because for me, I like for the audience to have the option, if they want to know more about me or Joey's life, they can go and follow us on our personal pages. You know, if you are just someone that wants to get the free game from the podcast and just take advantages of the benefits of listening to the pod, you can just stick to the podcast. You know, I mean, if you have no interest in learning more about me and Joey's life, you know, then just stick to the podcast page and do your thing. There's still like a place for both, you know?
Yeah. But I'll be making a big shift. So I will be shifting here probably in the next month to then being all value-based providing on there, creating that brand like Mark Zuckerberg did. Elon Musk, everyone fell in love with him. Why? Because he was constantly posting crazy ass shit.
100%, yeah.
So, I mean, I'll be posting a lot of information, a lot of value, and, you know, helping continue to build that credibility and seeing what performs. And then we'll then go internally and run ads on that through the company itself.
Dope, bro.
Yeah.
Well, dude, shout out to you, man.
Thanks so much for having me on the podcast.
Dude, it's a fucking honor to have you on the podcast. Seriously, man. Like, I know I've learned so much just from this fucking hour-long conversation. And I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing so much free game with people, man. I know, and especially in this space, a lot of people like to gatekeep stuff and kind of just like, I mean, obviously you've put in over 10 years of doing this shit. So it's like you charging for this kind of value is obviously super important. And the people that do come and want to work with True Culture Marketing, they're going to get way more value than they got in this fucking podcast for
100%,
sure. But just the value that you did provide for all the audience and for the people that came through. So, dude, thank you to you, man. Shout out to you for coming on the show. It's been an absolute fucking honor.
I think it's huge too, because like you have to provide value and not expect anything in return. Otherwise, it's a transactional relationship.
Facts.
So that's why I try to do that. I always try to provide value, because not everyone's going to, you know, join us or work with us.
Yeah.
But if I can provide value and get you from where you're at to where you want to be, you know, you might refer me out. You might, you know, provide something else, but I just give value with no expectation in return.
I love it, bro.
Key.
Yeah. And you've heard Alex Hormozy talks about that a lot too, man. Just be an asset. You know what I mean? Just help people. No, dude, I fucking love it. Joe, you got anything else, brother?
I appreciate you coming on, and I appreciate the free game. I feel like I got to go fix my Instagram profile.
Gonna go right into editing that as soon as we get done with this episode.
But no, I appreciate you for coming. It was nice talking to you.
Yeah. I appreciate you guys for
absolutely.
having me, really.
Absolutely.
Honestly, genuinely, like, our time's our most precious asset, so I appreciate you guys spending that time with me.
Oh, of course,
brother. Yeah.
And I feel like this was we got a ton of value out of this time that we spent together, bro. And so I look forward to just fucking, grabbing a brewski with you later, maybe a Bold City brewski, and maybe a hot box pretzel.
Yeah.
And chatting up for a little bit more, man.
Sounds good.
Yeah, dude, you're a legend in this game, man. And just grateful for you coming on the show, for real. All the OGs that are listening to this right now, if you're on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. You know how this shit goes. Comment the type of guests you want to see in the future. You guys know me and Joey don't really have any kind of specific guests that we have on the show. It's just people that we actually genuinely want to talk to. But also people that our audience likes to hear from as well. So shout out to everybody that's listening to this episode. Shout out to everybody that does comment on these and let us know how they are. And also shout out to everybody on that OG Sessions Patreon.
Yes,
man.
sir.
If you are a certified OG on that Patreon, we fucking love you, and we hope you guys are enjoying those secret sessions. Me and Joey have a bunch of really good plans lined up for the next secret session episode, so you guys stay tuned. Also, we will be going on the road in close to 3-4 weeks, so y'all stay tuned. It's
Big things coming.
It's going to be fucking wild. Me and Joey are excited for this one. And drop a comment of what location you think that we'll be going to. You never know. Maybe if it's not this location, that could be the next one. So once again, shout out to everybody that's listening to this episode. If you're on those listening platforms, Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, wherever you listen to your podcast, make sure you subscribe and make sure you give us that 5-star rating, man. But until next week, this is episode 95 of the OG Sessions podcast. Y'all, we are out.
Peace.